可以同大家講呢，我哋嘅採購係有成效嘅。其實今日嚟講呢，特區政府已經落實咗嘅採購呢係超過1億套嘅。不過當然佢要運送嚟啦。咁但係起碼而家運送嗰個情況呢，令到我哋可以由今日開始，即係2月15日呢，就率先係派發俾安老院舍同埋殘疾人士院舍嘅工作人員，等佢哋能夠由而家嘅3日1檢，即係呢個快速嘅測試啦，加密到1日1檢。咁稍後我哋就會應該喺呢個禮拜呢，就陸續以百萬計嘅快速測試包會抵達嘅時候呢，我哋就會按住我頭先講嘅優先社群派發，亦都會係繼續係以污水檢測嘅結果呢，派發俾更加廣泛咁派發俾該區嘅居民。我哋其中一間供應商呢，係經中央轉介呢，係嚟自廣東嘅。咁喺呢度感謝廣東省政府呢，已經係承諾咗佢會係要求呢個供應商呢，係加班加點嚟到供應香港所需嘅快速嘅抗原測試包。所以請大家放心，我哋係會有足夠嘅量呢，嚟到支持我剛才講嘅快速測試嘅工作。但當然大家都會問啦，喺快速測試又好，核酸檢測又好，如果係呈陽性呢，佢係一個初步確診嘅個案呢，係需要進入去下一個環節，就係而家我哋面對最大嘅樽頸，就係隔離嘅設施同埋治療嘅設施，以及一啲所需嘅配套。喺隔離設施嗰方面呢，我哋仍然係盡我哋最大嘅努力去物色呢啲合適嘅地方，增設隔離嘅設施，等到檢測呈陽性，即係初步確診嘅人士呢，可以係被安排去到呢啲設施呢，係接受隔離。因應疫情嘅最新發展，我哋而家有以下嘅物色咗嘅地方呢，可以增設隔離嘅設施。第一呢，就係將已經落成咗嘅公共屋邨改作為隔離嘅設施。大家記得我哋喺疫症爆發之初都曾經用過呢個方法，當時呢係駿洋邨。而家我哋將會用嘅呢係皇后山邨第1座同埋第7座，以及麗景邨恆景樓作為隔離設施，合共可以提供3000多個單位。一般嚟講，衛生防護中心嘅要求呢係，如果佢哋嘅確診人士係同一家人呢，係可以獲分配到去同一個隔離嘅單位嘅。咁所以3000個多個單位呢，應該唔單止可以安排到3000個確診嘅人士呢，係作為隔離之用。咁當然呢啲3000個單位呢，有啲已經係預先分配咗俾輪候公屋嘅人士。我哋會為呢啲受影響嘅申請人呢，作出一個適當嘅安排。第二呢，係物色更加多整棟嘅酒店作隔離嘅設施用途。目前嚟講呢，我哋都有8、9間嘅酒店係幫我哋做緊呢個檢疫嘅用途。咁由於家居檢疫呢已經係上咗軌道，咁所以慢慢呢啲酒店呢會係轉做社區嘅隔離嘅設施，但係都唔足夠。咁所以而家我哋係唔會一間一間酒店去傾㗎啦。我哋會同業界，即係酒店業界呢，係共同制定一個可以提供數千個至到1萬個酒店房間嘅方案。我親自會同酒店業應該喺聽日呢，我哋就會係展開呢個合作嘅方案，探討呢個方案。我哋亦都係已經透過教育局呢，係聯絡各間大學，佢哋有學生嘅宿舍，但係目前呢，就係因為仲有好多學生喺度，亦都有一啲非本地嘅學生啦。今日我難以確實講，我哋可唔可以有任何一棟嘅學生宿舍呢，可以騰空作為隔離嘅設施嘅用途？但我哋會繼續同相關嘅大學呢嚟到去研究。咁當然大家留意到，我哋係希望中央協助裏邊呢，亦都有呢個增建一個社區嘅隔離或者係治療嘅設施嘅。咁但係今日呢，未有詳細嘅情形可以同大家彙報，但係我哋嘅籌備嘅工作呢喺度進行緊。至於喺治療方面，我係同意醫管局嘅做法呢，而家醫院係應該優先去照顧一啲重症細路仔同埋長者。 但係因為有大量嘅呈陽性同埋初步確診嘅人士呢，而家喺屋企裏邊等候緊進入去隔離嘅設施。咁所以醫管局亦都係需要加強俾呢啲喺屋企等候去隔離設施嘅市民嘅醫療嘅需要啦。醫管局除咗現有一個叫護訊鈴嘅服務之外，即係電話提供呢啲服務之外呢，我知道佢今日喺430嘅記者招待會，亦都會公布一啲加強嘅措施，包括係分階段啟動一啲指定嘅診所，協助處理一啲病況較輕微，但係需要接受治療嘅人士。咁為咗確保如果醫管局啟動呢啲指定診所嘅配套係做足呢，我哋已經係要求的士業界，呢個係由運輸及房屋局嘅工作，已經係同的士業界聯絡，希望的士業界呢係提供一啲安排嘅專屬車隊，就俾呢啲喺屋企裏邊等候緊去隔離設施，但係個身體狀況又需要去呢啲指定診所嚟到去求診嘅人士呢，係可以用嘅以釋呢啲市民或者其他交通工具嘅營運者嘅擔心啦。咁衛生署係會為呢啲有關嘅車隊同埋有關嘅司機呢，提供一個防疫嘅指引，等到司機係喺安全嘅情況之下呢，提供呢個服務。相關嘅配套服務呢，喺當醫管局確定咗呢啲指定診所嘅地點之後呢，我哋會另行公佈。喺呢度非常之感謝的士業界喺呢個危急嘅時候呢，都係助我哋一臂之力。嗱，上述我講咗嘅幾個而家有樽頸嘅環節呢，無論係病毒檢測或者係隔離或者係治療嘅設施呢，都需要中央協助嘅。咁特區政府已經同相關嘅中央部委同埋廣東省及深圳市政府上週喺深圳舉行咗會議，咁亦都同意咗喺5個方面呢，要成立對接嘅工作小組，具體去鋪排有關嘅工作。由於政務司司長喺開完會之後已經同傳媒交代咗，而喺禮拜日我召開咗內部高層會議，敲定咗一啲具體嘅分工，亦都向大家以新聞公報嚟到去交代咗呢，我喺呢度唔複述啦。我完全明白喺呢一波疫情嘅規模同埋確診個案上升得咁快嘅情況之下呢，市民係自然係會擔心嘅嚇，亦都會感到焦慮，亦都好容易呢會產生一啲誤解。尤其係當有各種嘅謠言同埋猜測，不時喺一啲社交媒體裏邊咧係散播，所以我想藉今日嘅機會咧，向廣大市民明確咁作出以下3點嘅澄清。第一，需要澄清嘅係我哋嘅態度同埋立場。特區政府係負有抗疫嘅主體責任，我哋一定會堅定信念，堅持抗疫嘅意志，絕唔會放棄。係努力按住動態清零呢個目標呢嚟到應對。即使第5波疫情呢係2年抗疫以嚟最嚴峻，甚至可以講呢而家係最危急嘅時候，但係特區政府都唔會懈怠嚇，我哋係會以最積極有為嘅態度，全力應對前所未有嘅挑戰。第二個需要澄清嘅係策略同埋措施嚇。喺咁大規模嘅疫情期間呢，我哋必須要按住呢個疫情嘅性質嚟到不斷優化調整我哋嘅措施，提升能力，唔會係掉以輕心嘅。每一項措施既係要果斷，但係我哋都盡量做到人性化，希望能夠提高市民嘅接受程度。舉例嚟講，我哋知道圍封強檢係一個有效嘅措施，但係佢亦都係一個相當令市民唔方便嘅措施嚇。咁所以喺維持1日到甚至7日嘅圍封強檢行動呢，我哋都係需要為市民、為居民呢係提供譬如1日3餐同埋其他嘅支援。又好似我哋知道市民都係有焦慮，會唔會即係冇感染呢？咁所以大量派發呢個快嘅檢測包呢，係有佢嘅需要。我哋係冇問題嘅。咁等到啲檢測包一到呢，我哋係會大規模咁派發。 以舒緩市民對於感染風險嘅焦慮。至於喺屋企，而家應該有4,000幾嘅緊密接觸者或者係次密接觸者喺家居進行檢疫咧，呢個居安抗疫嘅計劃咧，自從大概1個禮拜前開始咧，亦都係相對比較順暢。我哋設立嘅24小時嘅電話熱線咧，亦都係每日可以讓1,000多位嘅打呢個熱線嘅居民咧，能夠係攞到一啲嘅協助同埋支援啦。咁另外，對於喺家居等候隔離嘅初步確診者咧，醫管局亦都會稍後咧係推出加強嘅措施。第三個我需要澄清嘅咧，就係特區政府係上下同心，全力全動員咁喺度抗疫嘅。唔同嘅政策局同埋部門都係喺呢段時間同心協力，聯同我哋嘅醫護人員啦、檢測人員啦、承辦商啦、化驗所啦，同埋負責支援污水檢測嘅大學團隊啦，以至到一眾嘅地區嘅義工咧，喺度組成一支堅實嘅抗疫團隊。唔少平常喺寫字樓工作嘅公務員同事咧，都紛紛走到去前線。唔少已經退休享受緊退休生活嘅前公務員同事咧，都係非常願意加入呢個抗疫嘅行列，助我哋一臂之力。例如以圍封強檢為例，每次一座大廈嘅圍封強檢咧，係需要動員數以百計嘅公務員嘅同事。咁所以過去呢啲圍封強檢出動咗嘅同事，好多真係平時喺寫字樓做工嘅，例如係環境保護署啊、稅務局啊、海事處啊，或者係公務員事務局嘅同事咧，大家都係參與其中，走到去最前線呢，聯同主導嘅部門，即係民政事務處啦，同埋房屋處、紀律部隊、衛生部門呢，係完成每一晚嘅任務嘅。喺中央嘅全力支援、政府上下同心同埋市民嘅全力配合之下呢，我哋要繼續打呢場抗疫戰，向病毒投降唔係一個選項。我喺呢度再次呼籲咧，全港市民要保持信心，繼續全面配合特區政府嘅防疫抗疫嘅措施，減少外出，注重個人嘅衛生，做好防護，避免感染，快啲打針嚇。最後，立法會財務委員會咧將會喺今日下午舉行會議，審議特區政府就第6輪防疫抗疫基金申請，為呢個基金注資270億元。我好相信咧，立法會議員都係會支持呢次撥款嘅。當撥款通過之後，我哋馬上會落實各項嘅支援措施。睇下大家有咩提問。
係，依家係提問時間。想提問嘅記者請先舉手啦。嗌到你嘅時候，請講出你嘅傳媒機構名稱，然後用我哋俾你個咪咧去發問嘅。前排中間啡色褸嗰位男記者。
Good morning, Mrs. I'm Chris from the South China Morning Post. So, 3 questions. Does the government have plans to impose district-based lockdowns? And if so, how confident is the government that it could be done smoothly given the number of hiccups that we've seen in the past weeks when the government introduced lockdowns to residential buildings? And given all the measures you've just said, including designating public housing estates as quarantine and isolation facilities, and also the plan to build more facilities, do you have the time frame? And also, how many quarantine isolation facilities is the government aiming for, and how many people does the government intend to have them hold? How many people? Last but not least, do you maintain the assessment you made last week that the CE election will not be postponed? Is it among the issues you have discussed with Beijing? And pardon me for repeating the question week after week, do you still intend to run for the race? Thank you.
Well, first of all, there have been all sorts of discussions and advocacy about a lockdown. In the last 2 years of the whole world fighting this COVID-19 pandemic, different governments have adopted different measures. And city lockdown has also been adopted by some governments, but they differ in the way that this lockdown is being applied. So as far as Hong Kong is concerned, we need to find our own way out of this epidemic. And so far, our measures to contain the spread of a disease remains a legitimate and valid one. The problem we are facing is, given the magnitude, the pace of, and the severity of this fifth wave, it has outgrown our capacity. So the immediate response of the Hong Kong SAR government, now with the support of the Central People's Government, is to enhance the capacities at various parts of this anti-epidemic effort, and we are doing this. So I will have to say it very clearly that we have no plans for any widespread city lockdown, as you have seen in some of the other places. But the district-based restriction has been adopted for many, many months now. Since the latest wave from the end of December last year, the government has already conducted over 100 such operations, which we call the RTD, the Restricted Testing Declaration. So we prohibit people from leaving their building until everybody has been tested and the results have been disclosed. Whether they are negative, then they can go out. If it is positive, then the Center for Health Protection will follow up the case. And these operations have proven to be effective in terms of identifying a large number of infected cases. And where necessary, in order to ensure the comprehensiveness of the coverage of the RTD, we have to extend the duration of the RTD. So we have been doing 1 day, 3 days, 5 days, and even 7 days RTD. If you refer those to a district-based lockdown, this is a very focused district-based lockdown in order to identify as early as possible the infected cases. But let me stress it again. We have no plans whatsoever to impose a complete wholesale lockdown of the Hong Kong city. Now, the second point about time frame, of course, everything we would like to see as quickly as possible, because at the moment we are already facing backlogs, both in testing and the laboratory for confirmation, in transferring preliminary positive cases to community isolation facilities, and in meeting the most serious cases into hospitals. So in every of the measures to enhance our capacity, we would like to do it as quickly as possible. But from the figures that I have just quoted to you, insofar as the conversion of the newly built public rental housing, we're talking about slightly more than 3,000 units. But as I said, one unit sometimes could accommodate the whole family if, unfortunately, members of a family are all confirmed preliminary positive. And in terms of hotel rooms, we know there are over 80,000 hotel rooms in Hong Kong, but not all of them are suitable. We are looking for a wholesale block, so a hotel which is occupying a whole building with a certain number of rooms, because if it is too small, the operation becomes very difficult. So my target is to get them to agree to a plan. It's not individual negotiations, which has been the modus operandi previously, that we approach individual hotel one by one and to discuss the terms and conditions with them one by one. That was not efficient anymore. So we will do a wholesale plan and require them to sign on the plan so as to deliver a few thousands up to 10,000 of the rooms within a very short period. I do not want to use my power, but I do have power under CAP 599 to make a regulation to ask for them, to ask for the cooperation. But I don't want to do that. I want to go down a cooperation model in order to find more hotel rooms for the community isolation purposes. At this moment, the plan for the chief executive election remains the same. That is, nomination period will start later this week. on the 20th of February, and the voting day will be on the 27th of March. But of course, as I just said, one of the things I need to clarify is because of the severity and the speed of this latest wave, we have to continuously review the situation, adjust the measures, and seek additional help. So I could not preclude any possibilities at this moment. And as far as myself, as usual, I'm not going to answer that question. My sole mission now is to lead the Hong Kong SAR government and to appeal to public for support to fight this battle out. Thank you.
係，我哋問多兩位記者，每位記者問2條到啊。係前排呢位女記者，係呢位。
你好，林太 TVB 嘅，咁有3條問題嘅。第一個問題想問翻啦，就係見到呢一波疫情入邊啦，嗰個病毒擴散都係好快，同埋個範圍好廣啦。例如係葵涌村嘅時候，其實不出幾日都已經係擴散去到荃灣啊等等啲鄰近地區啦。即係如果要堅持一個動態清零嘅策略嘅話，點解即係唔去考慮參考翻內地經驗啦，做一啲中小型區域式嘅一啲圍封咧？即係如果單靠一啲提升佢個不斷提升個檢測量，係咪即係究竟夠唔夠咧？係咪即係加重緊醫療系統嗰個負擔咧？咁另外問題就係問翻啦，就係其實檢測嗰個人龍而家短咗好多啦，係咪因為放寬咗強檢同埋緊密接觸者嗰個定義咧？喺呢個即係疫情咁嚴峻嘅情況之下，再去放寬，其實係唔係即係已經放棄咗一個應檢盡檢嘅策略啦？咁仲有個問題啦，就係其實而家見到個疫情都係處於一個不斷創新高啦。咁林太咧，即係其實都去到今日咧，都係堅持啦，都係想俾市民感受你嘅情緒，就冇戴到口罩嘅。咁其實呢一個即係好多嘅有啲意見啦，就覺得可能冇辦法樹立一個好嘅榜樣啦。點樣回應啦？如果萬一即係疫情而家咁犀利，即係林太即係唔小心受到感染嘅話，咁其實會唔會影響呢個抗疫戰嘅成效咧？會唔會都即係令到你有冇會影響到你即係參選嘅一啲工作咁樣咧？如果你有呢個意願嘅話，唔該晒林太。
本人喺呢一個場合，呢度係政府總部嘅演講廳，係做緊呢一樣嘢，就係做新聞發佈會，係經過考慮之後決定咁樣同大家講嘢呢。我已經解釋咗啦，我冇嘢可以補充。但係我離開咗呢個場合同埋呢個演講廳啊，除咗話真係上一次喺立法會嘅會議廳，我係完全做足晒個人嘅防護。其中有個傳媒都係好眼利嘅，留意到呢，我喺早前落區去探訪呢啲電話諮詢中心呢，我係戴2個口罩添嘅嚇。咁所以我希望大家唔好再糾纏喺呢個議題。而家係需要同心嚟到去抗疫，而行政長官呢係需要負起呢個主體嘅責任，俾市民知道每一個情況係點樣樣。嗱，你第一個問題有少少自相矛盾嘅嚇，即係如果我哋係要繼續動態清零呢，就係需要去早發現啦。早發現呢，就係需要去早檢測。如果不檢測，就係一個唔係好動態，係幾消極嘅，因為唔想再有個案啦，就唔提供檢測。咁呢個唔係我哋願意見到嘅。事實上，正如我頭先所講，其中一個需要澄清呢，係呢啲措施係不斷要調整嚇。尤其是喺嗰個資源唔係無限嘅情況之下，但係冇減少到我今日出嚟之前呢，食物及衛生局話俾我哋聽，儘管而家排隊嘅輪候時間短咗，因為加咗一啲嘅方便排隊嘅措施，但係整日嘅檢測量冇乜少到啊，都係超過20萬次啊，咁所以並不成立呢，就係我哋係壓低咗呢啲檢測嘅需求呢，嚟到去達至呢個嘅效果。我相信呢個效果呢，都係市民比較而家放心啦，佢哋可以攞籌啦，或者可以喺網上睇到嗰個檢測嘅輪候嘅時間呢，然後呢，就喺適時呢先去到呢個站頭嗰度呢，嚟到去採樣嘅啊。咁所以我哋會繼續呢係呢個嘅工作嚇。區域性嘅圍封其實都係為咗檢測， 每次無論喺內地或者喺我哋做RTD 咧，個目的都係檢測嚇。咁所以而家我哋正咧就係隨住呢個增加檢測嘅能量同埋檢測嘅範圍咧，嚟到去達至早發現。有咗中央嘅助力咧，我相信我哋可以更加廣泛咧嚟到去喺社會度咧做呢個病毒嘅檢測啊。答咗啦兩個問題。
係，最後一位記者嘅提問。後排中間嗰位女記者，係呢位。
係，特首你好，商台。咁就想問翻啦，琴日就公布咗5個小組特區召集人嘅名單啦。咁就想問下點解會同李家超司長公布嗰個名單唔同啦？咁預期小組會點樣解決到一啲而家嘅影響啦？例如譬如跨境物流咁樣，會點樣解決一啲譬如貨車司機因為確診啦，搞到人手減少，咁就影響咗本港一啲蔬菜同埋即係一啲冰鮮禽肉供港嘅問題咁樣啦。咁另外都想問多一次，即係清零嗰度啦，因為特首你都多次強調咗係希望清零嘅，咁但係確診都持續高企啦，亦都暫時未見到會回落啦，會唔會話即係可能做全民強檢咁樣加速你呢個即係達成呢？唔該。
容許我答咗最後一個，因為我頭先都係花啲時間咧，就係講對於話一個更廣泛性嘅或者係全民甚至全民嘅強制嘅檢測咧，我哋嘅立場唔係原則性反對，我哋嘅立場係當我哋能力有限嘅時候，應該聚焦喺一啲成效係比較高嘅地方。咁所以按住一啲大廈出現咗污水呈陽性啊，或者係按住我哋喺個案追蹤嘅時候，知道某一個大廈或者某一組大廈會有確診個案，而將我哋嘅檢測能力聚焦喺嗰度，甚至仍然都係用圍封咁聚焦喺度呢，係一個策略上嘅做法。但當我有更加多嘅檢測能力嘅時候，當然我哋會考慮其他更加廣泛性嘅措施嚇。我希望大家唔好將我哋因為係嗰個能力有限而需要係排優先次序，而係需要針對性同埋聚焦嘅工作呢，就係演繹為我哋有啲嘢係一定唔做嘅嚇。喺一個抗疫嘅過程裏邊呢，係好難可以講定有啲嘢乜嘢都唔會做嘅，係咪？因為我哋從來都未見過有一個疫情呢喺香港嘅爆發係嚟得咁急同埋咁猛。咁所以進一步嘅大規模嘅市民嘅檢測咧，我哋係會當有能力嘅時候咧，係會認真考慮。但係喺呢個核酸檢測嘅能力未到位，因為核酸檢測嘅能力佢係需要有2個好重要嘅配套。第一個就係採樣員啊，第二個咧即係有採樣員就真係需要有地點啦，係咪？市民要嚟啦。第二個係需要有實驗室嘅能力。咁相對於呢一種核酸檢測嘅要求咧，呢個快速抗原嘅檢測就可以做到一個輔助性嘅功能。咁所以我哋已經買咗1億份呢啲快速抗原嘅檢測，亦都會由今日開始咧，當啲供應一嚟嘅時候咧，我哋就會先分發俾一啲佢有高暴露風險，或者如果佢感染咗，不知不覺感染俾其他人，譬如安老院舍咧，就後果好嚴重，或者係喺前線抗疫嘅人士，或者係跨境嘅貨車司機，呢啲我哋而家估計淨係呢一類嘅需要呢，每日係100萬套。但係我哋有呢個能力嚇，1億已經可以應付我哋即係3個月㗎啦，而且仲嚟緊嚇，因為呢個市場上係唔缺貨嘅，我哋亦都係喺內地呢係有供應商尤其是一間呢係喺廣東省。廣東省政府係已經指示咗咧，係特別為我哋加班加點生產咧都冇問題嘅咁呢個係有關於檢測嗰個問題。至於你提到關於嗰啲小組你哋或者傳媒都係睇我哋政府嘅文件或者説話咧，就好中意核對嘅。當李家超司長係去到深圳開會嘅時候咧，佢帶咗幾位局長去但係呢一次會議嘅即時嘅成果咧，就大家梳理出有5個範圍係需要對接，所以有5個工作小組咁當晚佢當然就係只能夠好籠統話俾大家聽咧，就係我哋都係會跟進呢5個工作小組 咁但係第二日禮拜日，政府內部高層就要決定，為咗令到全政府去抗疫，我哋不能夠將所有工作都交俾一個局長啊！你可以話抗疫呢就係食物及衛生局咁啊，全部陳肇始局長處理係唔可能嘅嚇，一直都唔係咁樣做啊！而家亦都更加唔應該咁樣做。譬如關於係打針嘅問題，過去成年嘅打針工作都係聶德權局長做，公務員事務局同打針好似距離好遠啦，但呢個就係上下同心。大家去組成呢一支抗疫團隊，大家係透過行政長官嘅指令呢，係分工嚟到去處理。咁所以禮拜日我哋檢視完，亦都討論完呢，就係決定咗呢5個小組嘅第日同中央同埋廣東省深圳市政府嘅對接呢，就由5位嘅局長呢嚟到去牽頭。但係唔係等於其他嘅局長唔要參與嘅。如果喺個做嘅過程裏邊，譬如出現咗有一啲係通關嘅議題，咁關口係邊個負責呢？就當然係紀律部隊啦。咁於是保安局局長呢，亦都會協助喺呢個工作小組裏邊出現咗係需要便利通關，或者係有一啲海關需要點樣去便利檢查由內地進口嘅貨物，令到可以保障到香港嘅物資嘅供應呢，係咁樣做法。我希望大家明白呢，特區政府係上下同心嚟到一致去推呢個工作嘅。咁啊，最後一個問題就係關於供港嘅物資。我可以同大家講呢，喺中央通傳俾我聽，話佢哋對市民嘅關切，除咗直接同抗疫有關嘅議題呢，佢哋最關心嘅就係正正呢，就係呢啲供港嘅物資。大家都記得㗎啦，係國家幾十年嚟無論回歸前同埋回歸後，無論當時嘅供應喺內地係緊張定係而家比較即係寬鬆呢，都係先關心香港市民，都係確保香港市民嘅日常嘅生活需要，特別喺新鮮食物嘅需要呢，係能夠源源不斷咁樣去供應香港。咁所以今次因為疫情嘅關係呢，係打亂咗跨境嘅貨車司機，因為我哋大概有8000個跨境嘅貨車司機，每日呢就係來回經過深圳口岸呢嚟到去運送喺內地嘅新鮮嘅食品啊、蔬菜嚟到香港。但係因為香港嗰個感染嘅情況呢，唔少司機係一係自己感染咗，一係呢就係佢住喺嗰個大廈或者嗰個範圍裏邊呢係出現咗感染個案。咁按早前香港同廣東嘅安排呢，呢一啲司機就唔獲得豁免㗎啦。即係話如果佢要過深圳呢，佢一車過去呢就要隔離14天啊。咁所以呢個係做唔到，所以已經剔除咗，我諗都剔除咗兩成以上嘅司機呢，而家唔可以做呢個跨境嘅貨運。咁所以令到嗰個貨物嘅供應呢係出現咗一啲延誤啊，或者係滯後啦嚇。咁所以菜價呢係冇辦法啦，係上升。咁所以其中5個小組裏邊呢，就係專處理呢啲供港非醫療嘅物資，因為醫療嘅物資呢，又係另一個工作小組，另一位局長負責。非醫療嘅物資即係包括啲日常用品啊、蔬菜啊、或者係活豬活牛呢，就係由運輸及房屋局局長負責，因為主要係關於跨境貨車司機。咁而家全速做嘅工作呢，都係多嘅。咁當然第一就係招募更加多司機嚇，就係冇有感染風險嘅司機呢，請去參與呢個工作啦。第二呢，就係我哋確保我哋跨境嘅司機呢，每日都一檢，就係用呢個快速抗原嘅測試包，係檢咗陰性，你先係可以做呢個跨境嘅工作。咁我哋亦都研究緊呢，有冇水路嘅方案。因為香港都係周圍都有水啦，我哋亦都好多嘅內河嘅碼頭啦，或者係貨物起卸區。咁亦都我哋而家聯絡緊一啲海運即係嘅公司是否能夠以水路咧嚟到運呢啲嘅物品咧係落嚟啦嚇。咁總的來說咧，就我相信陳帆局長今日如果有機會咧，佢都會同大家交代下。我哋喺供港物資供應嗰方面，就住呢個跨境司機嗰個不足嘅問題呢，係同內地研究緊啲咩嘅措施。 總的來說，我哋係希望喺抗疫嘅同時呢，都能夠保障到市民嘅呢個日常嘅生活嘅需要。所以呼籲市民呢，亦都唔需要過分嘅焦慮。大家正如我頭先所講，同埋呼籲呢，一定要保持信心嚇，然後呢，就係共同努力，係按住我哋嘅防疫嘅要求呢，嚟到去打好呢一場嘅抗疫戰。多謝大家。
係記者會到此為止，多謝大家。